So this was a pretty light weekend in terms of motorsports this weekend outside of NASCAR. As we had Alex Palou continue his domination in the 3-1-3, and we have a brand new winner to talk about in the modifieds at Riverhead. So let's go ahead, let's jump into this very short race weekend recap. Starting off, we have the modifieds at Riverhead Raceway. And of course, this race was dominated by Mark Stewart, as Stewart really dominated this race for the majority of it. Even despite starting from 14th, once he would get the lead, he never looked back. Even despite the best efforts near the end from Justin Bonsignor, Mark Stewart was just not going to be denied the victory at Riverhead. And Mark Stewart goes on in a dominant fashion, wins at Riverhead for his first career modifieds win. So Mark Stewart is officially a winner in the NASCAR Wheel and Modifieds Tour. Honestly, congrats to Mark Stewart. Drove a brilliant race, was able to hold off the GOAT about Bonsignor, with Bonsignor being one of the top modifieds drivers in the series. Held him off in the late going and got the job done. So honestly, congrats to him on the win, well deserved. Great to see a new winner in the Modifieds Tour, as Modifieds once again delivers another banger race. And get a first time winner on top of that. Pretty rare sometimes to see a first time winner, but hey, you know, always good to make some new stars for sure. Now if he could run on a full-time basis in the series, that would be cool too. Now we move on to the IndyCar race on the streets of Detroit. So after the great racing we had in the Indy 500 last week, we get a race that doesn't even come close to the quality of that. Like, honestly, Detroit is just not... I don't think this is really a good track for IndyCar. Like, it's extremely tight. Just like, it was another chaotic race with a lot of cautions for contact and crashes throughout this race. Honestly, that's just how Detroit has become now. Like, the only real appeal with Detroit now is the dual pit road that splits off. But that's not really that special anymore since Dallas now does it too. Just so they can fulfill Jerry Jones' gigantic ego. But to this race itself, it was dominated by Alex Palou pretty much from flag to flag, even though he lost the lead quite a bit during the pit cycles. He would get the lead right back once it all cycled out. Even despite the best efforts from Kyle Kirkwood leading the race, and even with a couple cautions, bunching the field up for more contact and crashes, and even Santino Ferrucci having a mechanical failure probably caused by one of the other previous crashes he was in. And we also had a number of penalties thrown out for avoidable contact and pitting on a closed pit lane. Beep, 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 beep. Even despite all that, Kirkwood just could not use his street course merchant powers. And Alex Palou denies Kirkwood from going to victory lane on a street circuit. As Palou goes on and wins on the streets of Detroit again, and Kirkwood ends up finishing second, and Graham Rahal ends up rounding out the podium. So Graham Rahal gets another podium finish. He's getting closer to that win. Still got a little ways to go. But yeah, Palou won in pretty dominant fashion. It was a pretty anticlimactic race, and Palou's supremacy continues on. As with the win, Palou also extends his championship lead over Kyle Kirkwood to now 62 points. So Palou already a race ahead of Kirkwood in the championship, as Palou gets one step closer with 10 races remaining to lock up his 4th straight championship. Yeah, we have 4th straight championship, yeah. And his 5th overall. As Palou once again, another case. I mean, what else is there to say about Alex Palou? I mean, everything that could have been said about him being great and him being him, with a 10 as replacing the I. Like, anything I could say about him has already been said. So it would just be me being a broken record at this point. So, yeah. But yeah, Palou continues his domination, as now he continue the rest of the season with the Indy 500 officially in the rearview mirror. But yeah, everyone's saying that they should go to Detroit, Michigan after this as a better upgrade over after the Indy 500. Well, I'll be honest, IndyCar at Michigan International Speedway will never happen again. I don't think it will happen unless NASCAR has a change of heart and their conscience comes into play. Since Michigan is an ISC track. And oh yeah, and who owns ISC? Well shit, it's NASCAR. And NASCAR usually cockblocks IndyCar from racing on any ISC tracks. Like, I'll be honest, they have a better chance of going back to Pocono than they do going back to Michigan. Like, if they leave the streets of Detroit circuit, it will probably be just to go back to Belle Isle. Which Belle Isle is honestly better than the streets of Detroit. Mainly because Belle Isle has a tradition where the winner jumps in the damn fountain. And I'm pretty sure the winner's not allowed for the streets of Detroit. The winners usually can't jump in the river just off the track. But yeah, I don't see IndyCar. Like, the only way IndyCar would ever go back to Michigan is if they do a crossover weekend with NASCAR. I mean, that is pretty possible that could happen, though, the crossover weekend. I think it would be a better option than going to Phoenix. I mean, the Cup race at Michigan is literally next week. I mean, it could happen in the future. But the problem is, though, if they want to do that crossover weekend, they want to have it be weekend when Fox has it. And the Cup race at Michigan is now on the Amazon Prime portion of the season. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of what could be a good option, I mean, if you're going to place Detroit entirely, the best option would probably be Pocono. I mean, Pocono is, like, independently owned. And honestly, I feel like IndyCar should go back to Pocono. I mean, what happened with Pocono the last few years, that wasn't really a car. That wasn't really the track that was the problem with the safety thing. That was more just the car being poorly designed. And a bunch of other shit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But Detroit's future is still on the schedule for sure for at least a couple more years. But you know, if Detroit doesn't produce a banger in the future, its future on the schedule could be in doubt. But you know, time will tell with this track for sure. But anyway, in terms of race recap, see you all next week for the Cup race at Michigan. I'm out.